Well, we spent a lot of time learning the basic technique for basic chip shots. And that's going to be really important because if you know that shot, you can have a good short game right there. As you can well imagine, though, there are other situations we need to be ready for out on the golf course. So I want to talk about how to alter that basic technique to play some of the different shots around the greens. Now, this is one where the ball is sitting down just a little bit in the rough. This is not what I would call deep rough, but you do need to alter your technique just a little bit to hit this one clean. Now, what we're going to do, you have to take a little look at this lie to see how it works. Basically, what happens is if the club is coming on its normal angle of approach, I'm going to hit some grass as it comes into the ball. Now, that's going to tend to kill the shot just a little bit. It's almost like throwing a punch at somebody and they're holding up a pillow. So what we need to do is to approach on a little different angle so I can catch that ball clean. As I approach, what I'm looking for, instead of that normal angle that we've been hitting it with, I now need an approach that's going to go more into the ground, because as I come on this little sharper angle, now it catches the ball first, a little bit better at least, instead of so much grass. So the angle of approach is a little bit different. Now, the way I'm going to alter that is I'm going to do it with my stance, not so much my swing on a shot like this. I'm going to put the ball a little bit farther back in my stance and lean myself a little more onto my left side and setting the handle just a little bit more forward. You can imagine that as I do that, it's going to make an approach that's a little steeper, a little bit more into the ground. That catches the ball clean now, hitting it first, and then the turf a little bit better. Now, as we do this, you can imagine that as I set the handle more forward, the blade gets de-lofted a little bit. That takes loft off the club, so it's a little straighter faced. That's going to make it go out a little bit lower. So what's going to happen is your pitching wedge might act a little bit more like your 9 or your 8 iron. It's going to come out a little bit lower, a little bit hotter. Your sand wedge might act like your pitching wedge. So you want to use a little more lofted club in a situation like this. Maybe take out your lob wedge if you have it. Try your sand wedge. A little practice to see exactly how it works in terms of how much it will run, but expect it to come out a little bit lower and a little bit faster. So ball a little back in the stance, handle a little more forward, and now you can feel how that club is going to hit a little more sharply into the ground. Now, one other point to get ready for this shot is you want to go ahead and make some practice swings so you can make sure that you're going to hit the ground after the ball. We don't want to get into this shot and try to scoop it up out of the rough with our swing. The swing always catches the ball first and then the turf. So a little practice swing to get ready for this shot to make sure you're hitting the ground in the right place. And then you go ahead and give it a go with the same technique. Ball a little more back in the stance, handle a little more forward, and then we give it a go. Now, it does get even more challenging in the really deep rough, so let's go ahead and take a look at that.